you ready?
Wait, where's your little thingy on the, oh, there it is.
Tricorder.
Tricorder. Now, at 4:01, I'll call the Tamworth Select Board meeting to order on January 13th. And make a motion to go into non-public session under RSA 91A3 2B, Session 1, and RSA 91A3 2A, Session 2. Second. Roll call vote.
You said yes?
There, yes. Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
We are now in non-public.
And I'm
4:02.
recusing myself from session 1 and leaving the room. Here, this is the right copy.
How good then?
I make a motion to come out of non-public at 5 p.m. Second. Roll call vote.
You say yes?
There, yes. Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes.
We are now out of non-public at 5, and the minutes are not sealed. We are going to add a non-public at the end of the meeting. Something came up that, so that's the only addition.
Is it a new one or
There we go.
continuation?
Continuation.
Oh, it's a continuation?
Continuation of-
Okay,
yeah.
excuse me, continuation
Of session 1.
of session
Yeah.
1. Good point. All right. Let's skip the public input. Is there any public input before we get into the heart of the meeting? Thank
Maureen,
you.
we got you in person today.
Thank you. Here I
We don't have our department
Oh,
head up.
Paul is here. You know, I guess we'll skip him.
past him.
He was stuck in a sewer commission meeting, so he'll pop over when he's
Oh,
done,
okay.
I suppose.
All right.
And I believe we were supposed to start with our Tri-County CAP representative. Oh, is that you?
She's right here.
Oh,
That's
hello.
me. How are you?
Good, how are you?
All right, and we will go with Tri-County Cap.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah,
can you make sure that people say their names, introduce themselves?
state whose name?
State their names before they...
When they speak.
Oh, okay,
Yourself,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
all I'm saying. Thank
Please
you.
state your name before you speak.
I'm Jeannie Robillard, and I'm the CEO of Tri-County Community Action Program. Before I go into our 2026 appropriation request, I do want to give you a couple updates, things that have happened since I was here last. And one of those is that the resource building, the Tamworth Resource Building, now has a new improved vestibule where you can enter the building and still, we can still have staff be safe. There is a receptionist at Fuel Assistance Program every day from 8 to 4, and there is a window out on the vestibule. But if you need to drop something off, paperwork, etc., or you need to see someone, you can actually enter the building. We've built a whole new vestibule. And I did want to follow up on the Tamworth Dental Center, which, as you may or may not know, has not been operational since November. Unfortunately, we had a perfect storm of events where we lost our dentist. We lost our dentist. And shortly thereafter, our office manager and our accounts receivable person decided they were both moving and going other places. And so the board decided that since it has always been a struggle for that program to break even, if it weren't for private foundation grants that we get, we would be in the hole upwards of $100,000. And since COVID, getting any kind of dental staff and the costs of dental staff are astronomical. Nothing that we could have ever anticipated. And there's so many jobs available out there, there's no way around it for us. So we decided to shut down the center under our operation. We are currently working with 2 entities who are interested in taking it over and opening it back up, and I am hoping very much so that that will be before the spring. will be very excited about that.
Will they be
And-
under your umbrella still?
No.
Will they be a nonprofit still?
It is possible, but not necessarily.
Okay. Well, that's something to note for the assessing office.
Yep. Well, it's still part of, we'd still be operating the buildings, so that's still part of, so yes, I guess in a sense that
But
is
if
an
you're
umbrella.
operating, well, this is a different conversation.
It
but-
is.
But we could talk about
It is.
what the parameters are for nonprofit status.
It is.
and
We've already
taxes.
talked with our attorney about that
Yeah.
a little bit in preparation, so happy to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And I did also want to follow up, I know there were some concerns, it's kind of moot at this point, in a sense, since the dental center is closed. But I did check on your phone call, and the staff did receive your phone call, but when it came in, it didn't show as a number from a patient, and you didn't leave a message, so they thought it was just a fluke. There was no message, it was not a number from one of our patients, so they didn't call back.
Oh, it was a year ago, I thought I.
Yeah. Well, I haven't forgotten. I knew I would be back here at some point for you folks, and I wanted to give you an update. So this year we're asking for the same amount of money that we always ask for. It's on a formulaic basis with all of the other towns based on population. And this year's request is $6,327. There's a little typo on the application. We're not asking for $63,000. I do want to point out that last year we served 446 individuals in 266 households with a total value of $456,566 worth of services. I will say that doesn't include individuals assisted through our food deliveries to local pantries. Every month we serve a variety of local pantries with our USDA TFAP foods. So what we're doing is we're getting food up here from Concord, and we're distributing it to local pantries. This year we've also continued our free diaper distribution program. That was a collaborative with all of the New Hampshire community action programs, and bringing on board other community partners to distribute free diapers to families. The bar is very low in terms of what you need in order to be eligible. And that's going very, very well. And we're very pleased that we got that grant again and can continue doing that. And our Community Action Resource Coordinator, Angel Bean, out of the Tamworth building is just knocking it out of the park. We also had a very successful winter coat drive and giveaway. There were folks lined up out the door. We were so happy to see that, and that we were able to pull that together through the Community Action Resource Coordinator program. We still have coats for anybody who's out there listening. All you have to do is contact Angel at the Tamworth building, and still have coats for little guys, big guys, all kinds of folks. I'm trying to think what else we're doing that's new. I think that about covers it. I also wanted to reiterate, we worked with Bear Camp. That's right, we worked with Bear Camp this past summer to deliver their summer meals. That's all through Tri-County Transit. And the year before, I think it was the year before, we had done the Christmas meals. We didn't do them this past year. But that's, I guess, our new collaborations. And I think that's it, if you have any questions.
My question is the same one that I've asked before, which is, I understand that you've got your formula that you use, but we specifically ask agencies to come before us with specific data showing Tamworth's benefit from the program. So I'm not seeing that in the packet. Am I missing it?
Yeah, it's the very last paragraph. How many people in our community will be affected by your organization?
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
that 446
Where is
is
this?
Tamworth residents?
Yes,
I might be, I'm sorry, I'm
Back
missing
to
the.
second page.
446
No.
individuals in 266 households.
You don't have it in front of you, I'm sorry.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Oh,
And
okay.
like I said, the
Gotcha,
food
thank you.
pantries that we deliver the food to, we don't know how many people that they are distributing that food to, so we don't count it as part of our number because we can't be sure of the accuracy of that. What we do count from them is how many pounds of food that we deliver and where it's going.
Are you gonna speak to that,
May I say something?
about this?
I was confused a year ago when I heard this too. I'm a volunteer at the Community Food Center for
Maureen
Tamworth
Diamond.
and Sandwich. Sorry, yes, my name is Maureen Diamond. And we have a volunteer appears monthly at the TriCat parking lot to pick up goods.
Yes.
I don't think it involves your staff. I mean, it's just I'm not sure what the relationship is between you and taking credit for.
We are the ones who are actually working with Belknap Merrimack CAP, which is where the truck comes from. But what we do is we handle all the paperwork on behalf of the food pantries. We do all the reporting back to Belknap Merrimack. You have to fill out, each pantry has to fill out information, but then we take that, we have to aggregate that, we have to send that back to Belknap, and Belknap does the reporting to the feds from there.
That's interesting. I'll have to check with my volunteer who does that,
Yeah.
because I know that she works directly with USDA.
Yes. It's us. She's going through us. It's
Not
Eric
when she
Becker.
writes to Eric.
It's Eric Becker works for us.
Oh, okay, that's a new thing.
Yes,
Okay.
Eric Becker
Okay.
works for us. Yeah. And we don't get any money for that. We don't get any money to offset his time. That comes out of, unrestricted funds, which includes items like what towns donate to us. We don't, it's something that we do for the communities because we are committed to food insecurity and doing our part and what we can to get, this food up from Concord to the North Country.
Well, thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, sure.
It's still a little confusing to me, but I should look into it a little bit better.
Yeah, we cover all of the counties, Coas, in our service area, Coas, Grafton, and Carroll. So yes, that's Eric, he's our guy.
Yeah.
And I also did want to mention that we do a voluntary pilot
Yeah, we
with
did.
Tamworth. It's, it's $3,800, but it's $3,800. We were requested about 6-7 years ago. The select board pulled in all of the nonprofits and said, hey, look, we'd like you to be able to give something. And we were like, yeah, sure, no problem. So we have, and we have kept that commitment.
We didn't receive it in 2025, but it was on my list to ask.
Yeah, I just heard from my CFO today about that he's waiting for the invoice, or the invoice just came.
Those were sent out
Scheme.
December 1st,
Yeah,
but
yeah. But,
For 2026.
we voluntarily pay it. It's never been an issue.
So one of the things that we've heard is a lack of response to requests. You mentioned in the beginning of your statement that you have a vestibule where people can get out of the weather and wait. But do you have any metrics on the people that you've been able to assist that are walk-ins that get, on-demand help when they come into your facility?
And what are they looking for on-demand help?
I'm just asking
Specific?
if you have any kind of data on people that have walked in, and so I've heard personally stories of people walking in, getting no response, not being able to get anyone on the phone, not being able to have any kind of answer. I used to go to the dentist's office there, never got any answer to my phone calls. So I'm looking if you have any metrics that you can give us to say, we've gotten 75 walk-ins this last year, and we've been able to answer or help them within 5 minutes of them walking in the building, anything like that.
I don't know that we actually track who's walking in the door. It never seemed, we've never had a request for that before. I know we track who is doing emergency calls for housing through 211, and I certainly can get those metrics to you, absolutely. And in terms of who's getting assistance for fuel assistance or different services, and that's part of what our community action resource coordinators do. They can sign people up and screen them for services and make those referrals on the spot. And I don't think there is a place that Angel has not been this past year. If there's a community event happening, she's going to be there. And if you want her to be there, all you have to do is call her.
Is heating assistance a big part of what you do, and how much do you spend on that, and how many people do you serve?
Absolutely. I think fuel assistance is our largest program with the agency that represents about $6 million that goes directly out to the communities that we serve for fuel assistance, and probably at least 60% of the 465, or was it 56, individuals that we helped was probably fuel assistance. It's our largest program, and weatherization.
Is it a lengthy process? I assume there's some forms to fill out, because it says eligible, qualified households. So it's just income-based?
It is an income-based program. The federal government sets those guidelines. We do not. We are the subcontractor from the state. The state gets the money from the feds and then distributes it to all the community action programs. So we don't actually set those guidelines, and they change from year to year, as well as the benefit amount that households can receive also changes from year to year based on funding availability. So yeah, it's not fuel assistance for all. You do have to income qualify. And I believe that is at 200% of the federal poverty limit, which for an average single person making $7.25 an hour is about $15,000 and change.
So it's hard to qualify.
Not at 200%. It's not. If it was at that 725, yes, that would be difficult.
Yeah.
We have a question from Mark.
Mark Devitero. Do you guys do anything with homeless assistance?
We do. Yes, we do. We run shelters that are statewide. We take anybody from anywhere, as long as there's room at the shelters. We also run a permanent supportive housing program. We run that right out of the Tamworth building, and what that is folks who cannot afford to live on their own, who have some qualifying event, whether it's a disability, etc. They can get their housing paid for, and we offer the supportive services that get them hooked up with the community so that they stay in that housing and they don't lose it because of other circumstances. We also this past year had emergency solutions grant, which is also offers assistance with rent, getting people into housing. We have the housing stability program, which is the same kind of deal. But again, these all go through the state first. There is a waiting list that the state puts people on. We have to do, when someone calls, for example, if they're homeless, we have to put them on a list with the state that the state reviews. And then the state tells us if we can go forward and do an application for one of these programs with that individual.
And where's that information found?
In
Like
terms
for
of,
people that live in this area, how do they get in touch?
they
to
would
get-
call the
to
Housing
get assistance?
Stability Services.
Okay.
And we answer for 211, statewide 211. We have staff at the Tyler Blaine House Shelter in Lancaster that are on call and answer those calls generally within 15 minutes or so, depending on when they come in. They give us 48 hours to respond to those calls. And it's, 211 gets the information and then they funnel that to us through an email, but we try to respond as quickly as we possibly can.
I have two questions. Looking at your sheet. The first is, could you explain, we also are getting a request from Meals on Wheels to support them out of OSPI Concerned Citizen. How does your organization, it says Senior Meals, Meals on Wheels, are you also supporting Tamworth through Meals on Wheels?
No, we only offer Senior Meals on Wheels and Senior Center in Coos County in Berlin.
Okay.
So they're a separate entity, separate organization.
Okay. And my second question is about Head Start. What Head Start programming do we have in Tamworth? through you?
Yeah, we have that at the Community Resource Center in Tamworth. We have 17 students currently enrolled.
And have you been impacted yet by the federal funding freezes for Head Start?
No, because we are not considered childcare. And the funding, thank God, the funding for Head Start comes through a whole separate federal office, the Office of Head Start, OHS, and it is not impacted by these other childcare issues that are going on.
Okay, good.
Yes, it is totally separate.
We do occasionally hear from our constituents who have attempted to obtain services and never hear back. Particularly the last time I heard it from a constituent was for fuel assistance or electrical assistance. If somebody says they're not hearing back, what is the phone number they should call to try to get that request going?
The one that's on their application, I don't have it off the top of my head. They could also use the 1-800 number. It's 1-888-648-2227. One of the, and let me explain something on this, because this is a common complaint. We actually put out a whole booklet, frequently asked questions for the public. It's on our website. We put it out on our Facebook page. And fuel assistance, that program does not actually open until December 1st. In other words, the state does not allow us to make any payments until December 1st. It does not allow us to give a determination on an application until the program opens December 1st. So people may have applied in August, and I get it, it's a long time to wait. They may apply in August, but they are not going to receive a benefit or notice until after December 1st, unless there is something that we need on that application. If it's not complete, we have timelines that we have to follow. They'll hear back from us. Almost in a sense, no news is good news, almost. Folks who need help with their applications can walk into the office, can call, can make an appointment to have someone help them with that. Our community action resource coordinators are also trained to help people with those applications. I know it's frustrating for folks, but honestly, we process about 11,000 applications every year. That's a ton of paperwork, and it has to go through a two-step process. Once that application comes in, it goes through intake. We have to reach out to the client, usually through email if we need more documentation. Once that is complete, it has to go to a certifier who has to double check that application, make sure all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed, and that everything is there that's needed before it can even go into the system. And we do this huge upload on November, the last day of November for December 1st. I can tell you that even at this date, we're 6 weeks in, we have put out $3 million worth of assistance. The staff just goes, crazy until it gets done.
And if people don't qualify, how are they informed of it?
They usually get a notice at that same time. And one of the things too that...
So it's an email or a letter?
It's both. It's both. Whatever they prefer. It's always a letter, but we'll also email too if they said, yeah, I can get an email. One of the hard things about fuel assistance is that the program is not designed to, to cover someone's full cost of heating for a season. It's just not. It's a supplemental program. It's also not an emergency program. So if folks are having an emergency, they should go to the town. They should try to work, we also have staff that work with families to say, hey, can we work with you and your supplier to get up a payment plan, so you're not in an emergency situation. If someone has completed their application, let's say it's November, program hasn't started yet. If someone's got a fuel emergency, which is a quarter tank or less, or no fuel, and if they have their application all set, What we can do is we can approach the state and say, hey, look, we've got someone, they've got all their documentation, they're eligible, their application is complete, they have an emergency. Can we please have permission to get this person an emergency delivery? We have had a lot of emergencies this year. A lot of emergencies.
We've got to wrap it up because we've got a lot of people.
Okay, yeah, sorry, folks.
But can we just ask real quick while Paul's here? Because Paul's dealing with the same population, with the same questions. Are we missing any questions, Paul?
No.
Okay, thanks.
I would like to say, if Paul is here, hi, Paul. Hi, just to let you know that I know you've made calls to the office. We are not allowed, because of confidentiality, to give out any client information without their permission. So if you want to check on the status of an application for someone, get them to sign off on a confidentiality agreement through your office and fax it to us. And then we can talk to you. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Jean.
Thank you.
Can we actually have all the?
Yeah, I was gonna
Thank you.
jump in and have our welfare officer give his department head update.
Sorry I was late, I was.
I know, you know.
Meeting number 2.
State your name, please.
Oh, my name is Paul Priestman, I'm the welfare officer. The calendar year went out sort of like a lamb. It really came in like a lion. We spent a lot of money, had a lot of requests for resources early on. We spoke at our budget meeting about that. Requests for services and financial help sort of tapered at the end. We had a couple of folks that didn't quite make it to the fuel assistance, the time that fuel assistance is issued. So we helped out a couple people, to get over that gap. Most of the time, the past month or two has been spent working with the Shikorowa Woods Group, supporting them, helping them get sort of paperwork and working with the Housing Authority. We laid a lot of groundwork early on in the year, working with the Boston HUD folks and the Concord folks with the New Hampshire Housing Authority, and starting to sort of build those relationships and getting things figured out so that when we came down to crunch time, we'd be able to sort of help folks as much as possible. The federal government shutdown sort of was a little bit of a hitch for some of the paperwork that needed to go through HUD. But again, the Housing Authority folks were great. We helped out a good handful of folks with their relocation expenses in a partnership with the Housing Authority. I think the town came out pretty well in terms of helping out with deposits and relocation moving expenses. Again, the Housing Authority really came through for us. I think maybe the town supported maybe 20% of those relocation expenses for the group that moved in the last month or two. So they still have a little bit of work left to do. It was, I think, probably the biggest benefit for the folks at Shikorowa Woods was knowing that the town was behind them, that they were providing, receiving supports, that somebody cared. It was a very anxious time for them. So being able to sort of support them and reassure them and interact, sort of provide that bridge to the Housing Authority and the HUD office was a comfort, I think. And it's kind of roughly it in a nutshell.
Have you met with Katie Bilodeau yet?
Oh, I have.
Yeah, great. And
Yeah, she's super.
because one thing that came up in the interview process with her is her extensive background with services countywide, and so we really, in the interview process, encouraged her to collaborate with you, so that it's not always about money, but sometimes it's about her connecting, like helping you find services that she knows that people can benefit from, that will help them take the next step without always impacting the town's bottom line, yeah.
Yeah, we've already had a nice visit. We are kindred spirits.
Great. Great.
And I've already sort of done some work together, so.
Fantastic,
yeah.
that's great news. Thank you.
Any other questions for Paul?
If I may just say, I've heard, really positive comments from Jacora Woods residents about feeling support from the town
Okay.
through Paul, so I
Thank you.
think that's very positive.
Great work, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we will go to our next, Community Food Center, Maureen Diamond.
Hi there. My name is Maureen Diamond, and I'm here tonight as the co-chair of the board of the Community Food Center for Tamworth and Sandwich. Thank you very much for the opportunity to spend some time with you. Before I share a short handout that I brought for tonight, I know that you have my materials that I sent to Emily already too. I need to alert you to our plans to amend our request from the floor of the town meeting, and let me explain why that has happened. In mid-November, when we voted to request $5,000 from Tamworth in 2026, we did not have the financial information that we have now. Our information ended at October 31 that we based that on. The last 2 months have been absolutely incredible. We also had very busy sessions with the SNAP suspension. We had 50 clients instead of 30 in our routine sessions. And no clear idea of how the residual from that SNAP suspension was going to last and how it would affect our finances for the rest of the year. By mid-December, we had our signatures on a petition article for $5,000. Within 24 hours of receiving that goal, we learned that a partnership with Revo Casino had yielded $9,000. So, I knew I didn't want to just come and ask for the same amount. And individual contributions have been absolutely unbelievable in the last 6 weeks. So it leaves us with a very positive financial balance, which you can see on the year-end report that I just sent to Emily. It might be page 6 and 7 of your handout. So on January 7th, in an email vote, the board voted to reduce our request to $2,000. And when when you vote on your position on the warrant articles that are before you, I ask you to approve the $5,000 request, knowing that we will amend it from the floor of the town meeting. So I can assure you that that will happen. And then, what do I have here?
Well, that's exciting news for,
And you can imagine this group was not sure about collaborating with Revo Casino, a church-based group, but we figured that some of the money we would get back had probably come from our clients. So that's how we justified it to ourselves. So on this report, the first page with the bullets, the background information is mostly information I've gone over with you before. But I would like to, the last item on the under the background or introductory information, I'd like you to realize that this is a unique food pantry in Carroll County, that it serves only residents of Tamworth and Sandwich. Every single other food pantry in this county serves anybody who comes. We serve anybody who comes once, and we tell them what food pantry is closer to their home address. But the money that we receive from you goes to Tamworth and Sandwich residents, and Sandwich also gives us a stipend, as you know. Under highlights of 2025, the first two items are things that I promised you I would do a year ago. I only remembered them when I reread my report, and so I was kind of pleased and surprised. We also helped St. Andrews fund the purchase of a generator during the year. A third of that money came from us, a third from the church, and a third from a grant that we wrote to the Tamworth Foundation. In May, June, we lost funding for produce purchases when USDA pulled back funding for purchases from local farms. The food bank replaced some of that by private fundraising, and we spent the rest out of our treasury. So we got $1,000 where previously we had received $2,500. We've liaisoned with the Brett School's counselor more than previously, I'm happy to say. We have a healthy new force, or in addition to our volunteer force, after our annual meeting in October. We had 2 very busy sessions in November. We partnered with Revo Casino, part of trying to fulfill our promise to do some fundraising directly out of our own energies. We also wrote a successful grant proposal to Meredith Valley Savings Bank to fund purchases of non-food items in 2026, and we've had very generous donations. So the challenges ahead are basically how to use the resources that we are surprised to be sitting on, how to use them well, and how to continue to serve our communities well. On these pages with the pie graphs, this one is very much the same as it was a year ago. The majority of our clients still come from Tamworth, 91%. We served 97 unique households in these two towns in 2025, which is about 6.5% of the households according to state data. It's 14% more households than we served a year earlier. But you will see in the second table on that page with two pie graphs that the number of clients was about the same. So we probably have more 1 to 2 person households than in the past. And the age group that grew the most was our seniors over 60. Our clients are getting older, but we also picked up more households in that age group. And then the back of this page, which has just a single pie graph, gives you our revenue, primary sources of income, and you can see that individual donations went up almost 900% of what they had been a year prior. It's very humbling, and we want to use that well. Your support last year was $5,000. The year prior, it had been $3,000, which is what we requested. Sandwich support was $1,500. Their petitions are out right now for signatures, and we reduced that request to $1,000. Grants, I mentioned the Tamworth Foundation grant, Meredith Valley Savings Bank, an unsolicited grant from an anonymous donor that came through the food bank, allowed us to buy some tables and chairs this year. So we've done pretty well with grant income. Community groups include people like Scrub Oak Scramblers, the Chamber of Commerce in Ossipee, the Rotary Club, church groups in both communities. And then you see the revenue from Revo Casino there. So our revenue, a third of which came in December, was quite substantial last year. The next tiny table on that page is in-kind donations, and for the third year in a row we saw them drop. That's the food bank and that's USDA. They dropped to 88% this year of what they had been a year prior. And then as you look at expenses, you see that those are pretty much have been the same. The big outliers are facilities and equipment, where we paid for the generator. We paid $6,000 from our treasury, and the Tamworth Foundation money came through our treasury. So $12,000 of that $13,000 was the generator. Office and operations was the money that we spent for a fundraiser in March. That's what really boosted that category up. So thank you for your attention, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Not a question, but a statement. This is great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maureen, is that shift in the in-kind donations, was part of that the result of the food bank going to that tiering system?
I don't think so. It's been mostly USDA products that have been gone down.
Oh, okay.
Protein items are much less available than they have been. So I think it's mostly USDA. You'll see that handling fees, which is a tiny amount of our revenue, of our expenses,
Yeah,
but that has
percentage.
gone up quite a bit in the last year. That's what the food bank charges us to deliver from Manchester to the parking lot at McDonald's. We don't have any handling fees for USDA.
Anything else for Maureen?
The last question is the Brett School Liaison, is that part of the weekend bags program that was also?
Mary Kate, we aren't contributing to that program. We've mainly been working with her to help needy families, a family that arrives and really needs food to get them through the week.
Okay.
We were their backup for their Thanksgiving food baskets, which they did on campus, student club. I can't remember what she called it. The building club, I think she called it. prepare baskets for
Mhm.
families, and we were their backup if they needed anything, but they didn't really call on us for anything.
Okay, but it's not the weekend bags that Donna Hewlett's had been.
Mary Kate Courier is the counselor that
Right.
we've been working with, and she does that through her office. She and Donna work together on that.
And the transfer station is a
Right.
drop site
Yes,
for that?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much,
Thank you
Maureen.
very much.
Doing great work. And next we will hear from Children Unlimited.
That is me. Hello. My name is Kathy Livingston. I'm the director of the Family Connections Resource Center at Children Unlimited. We also have a children's clinic, and we have a preschool and a child care. So we have multiple programs within Children Unlimited, which is really, really helpful. I've been there for 14 years. So what I've seen over the years is, I just want to say thank you so much for the town supports. I think as Paul was mentioning, people are really feeling supported. They're feeling that they're being heard. Different organizations are really coming together to say, how can we help and support the very families that are in our towns? And I just want to give a huge shout out to Leanne at the Bear Camp Center. We were able to go there, and a lot of the families that received presents for their children through Angels and Elves, they didn't have anything for themselves. So those grandparents that were raising children, or the single moms and dads, they were able to get stockings, and they were just so amazed and so thankful. And I just so appreciate those partnerships that we have, because without that, I don't think we'd be able to do the work that we do. So I'm so thankful for that, and our partnership with Paul and Julie Lanoy here at the Tamworth Nurse Association. Julie approached me to talk about having another diaper depot. We have 2 in Carroll County, and this one became the 3rd, so that families could feel, I'm running low on diapers. They're so expensive. My kids are older now, and so, seeing how much formula costs and diapers and wipes. So just knowing that the community is, out there saying, how can we help and be supportive? We're just so appreciative, and just the families are just so, so grateful. So I want to say thank you so much for all the support that you are able to give us, because we wouldn't be able to help the families that we do. We are asking for level funding in the amount of $3,822, and we did work with 67 families in Tamworth, which was an increase from last year. And I think a lot of people have already talked about food insecurity, housing insecurity, their social isolation. They're worried about, how am I going to be a good parent, still go to work, and take care of my kids who might be struggling with mental illness, substance misuse. There's just so many stressors and pressures that are put on families right now, that we want to be that prevention agency that comes in and says, what are you already doing well, and how can we work with you, because you're the expert with your family, and we're able to provide resources, make connections, and really listen to families and see what is the need and how can we address that. If there isn't a play group that's already running, can we form one and do that? So we have Tamworth families that are coming to our Ossipee play group and to our North Conway play group, and all of our services are free, because we don't want any family to feel, I don't have the right, financial status or insurance, but you can just come because you are a family in Carroll County. So we feel very grateful and honored to be able to come to towns and be able to say, this is what families are saying back to us, and again, we wouldn't be able to do the work that we do without your support. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
I think one of the surprising needs in Tamworth that struck me that you support is the kinship parenting. So these are grandparents who, for a variety of reasons, end up raising their small grandchildren. So you can have 75-year-old grandparents with a 6-year-old, and things have changed since you raised the first batch of kids. And so I know that you've been working with some families in town to support them in how to raise a 21st century kid and how to find energy when you thought you were done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's a need that was kind of shocking to me.
Yeah, in Carroll County, we have the highest rate of kinship families. all different needs, whether parents are incarcerated, mental illness, substance misuse. But it is amazing, the grandparents and the aunts and uncles that have said, I will take these children in. And we do have some grandparents in their 70s and 80s are like, oh my goodness, I have this 1-year-old baby. What do I do? What do bottles look like? So it's a whole different world. And be able to provide those support groups, again, free of charge, where those kinship families can come together to say, oh my gosh, you get it because you're doing the same thing, and how do you navigate? How do you have the energy, go back to school and do all the things that kids need, and how can we support the whole family?
You indicated it's level funding from last year. How is the number determined in the past?
So that was something that originated probably back before my time, that was associated with the cost per visit. And so that's how I think the number that we have been asking for the level funding has remained, at least in the 14 years that I've been here, has remained the same, because we understand that towns have a lot on their budgets. So we do a lot of grant writing, we do a lot of fundraising, and we do ask for donations too, because we understand that that's an important piece and part of what we need to do as an organization also.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks
you.
for coming.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And we will move on to starting point.
Good evening, I'm Ray Stoddard from Starting Point. I'm the Outreach and Engagement Specialist. Thank you for your past support and for the opportunity to talk to you about what we're doing here. Our formula is based on a base to help cover our 24/7 crisis line, as well as supporting 37 individuals in Tamworth and providing almost 900 services for those folks. Starting Point provides free and confidential services for victims of domestic and sexual violence, stalking, and human trafficking throughout Carroll County. We do have the 24/7 crisis line and intervention, so if the hospital calls, we dispatch an advocate. It's usually at 3 a.m., but we send someone to both hospitals or any of the health centers that call us. If somebody shows up at court looking for a DV-related restraining order, we dispatch an advocate, and a victim has an 80% better chance of getting a restraining order when they have an advocate supporting them, which means a reduction in the incident and hopefully a break in the cycle. We also do a LAP program, which is a lethal assessment program with our police. So if our police call, we respond either by phone or by dispatching an advocate, sometimes picking up a victim in a situation where they've been made homeless due to their victimization. We have we have a crisis intervention, we have an emergency shelter in Fort Carroll County that holds up to 15 people, 5 adults and as many as 10 children. We also take pets because many people won't leave their fur babies behind, so we can make arrangements for them or have them in our shelter. If a victim in if our shelter is full and a victim is in imminent danger here in Carroll County, then we will provide shelter for them in a hotel. We also do financial support, financial literacy. Our slogan is no victim left behind, so whatever it takes to get them to safety. That might mean a bus ticket across the country to get them back home because they've been brought here for isolation purposes, and so we can help them get back to their community. We do outreach and education programs. We're in all of the Carroll County schools providing prevention curriculum for healthy relationships. We've been working over the past couple of years with, of course, some of our most at-risk population in schools, which is our high school and our middle schools, and we're finally being able to get back into our elementary schools and providing healthy curriculum there to help break the cycle. We know it works. We recently had a sort of high-level incident with a community member who was grooming children, and the children understood that it was grooming because of our work in the schools, and they understood who to reach out to in terms of a safe adult to report that. And so the incident was stopped probably sooner than it would have been in the past, which means a lot less children were victimized by that particular person. So we do all of that, and then I would add that one of the things that we've always done, and we're seeing more opportunity to do it, is to work with our business owners. We have a program called Make It Your Business, which is a sponsorship program that allows us to be much more interactive with our community. So it also replaces a gala that we used to do that just required a lot of work on our part and didn't really put us in connection with all of our business owners here in Carroll County, and now we can do that with Making Your Business, but we also are making them more aware of the services that we can provide for them, which is to help them maybe recognize if they have employees who are being victimized, and what resources we can offer them. We also do a preparedness assessment of their property, business property. More than 80% of the domestic terrorists last year had DV-related charges. So that's a really high-risk population, and to be able to go in, we have a supporter starting point who is at a federal level preparedness provider, and so he helps us to assess businesses for safety. We also work with Carroll County Public Health, who also has a preparedness program to do that. A statistic that I'm hearing, there's still new statistics, but it's mind-blowing, and I'm hearing it sort of regularly, is that the cost of DV in the United States is over $12 billion, and that 60% of those who are victimized are reporting an inability to work, either being made to quit because their abuser wants to isolate them, or being fired because they're not able to show up because they've got either bruises, or they've got court, or they've got new child care, or they've been made homeless, or they have no transportation. So behind the scenes, Starting Point has always been supporting those efforts to help people to greater financial independence, to emotional independence, and to help them heal through our support groups, and just it's not a one-time incident connection, it's a long-term. I've worked with some clients for 7 or 8 years to help them to heal and to break the cycle and move on. So, questions?
You say 37 clients served, which sounds like a low number if you're just looking at a number. But what does served mean in terms of contact time, for instance, or services?
It's going to be a variety of services. Yeah. We've had Tamworth residents in our shelter, so that's a cost of $200 to $300 or more every day that they're in the shelter. Court advocacy, transportation. We have our own food bank at the shelter. We also have food donations that we solicit, and gas cards. We do a first and last month security, and a gap rent, so that if somebody is just coming out of a situation where they have been financially abused and have no way to get housing, we certainly help them connect to housing. We've provided electric bill, pay for electric bills, for fuel assistance, helping them with educational training, child care costs, health care. So many of our clients don't have any kind of health insurance, so we help them with mental health care, SUD programs.
I get you.
Yeah.
I just want to make the point that it looks like, you've only served, 37 people is too many people
Yes.
to have to serve.
Yeah.
But the number doesn't belie the service, is what I'm saying.
Thank you.
And have you met our newest member of the police department?
So Katie and I had brunch together. So we've worked with her in the past in her other capacity.
Right.
And so this is going to be another great opportunity both for us to provide resources for her and support, and for us to get referrals from her.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
yeah.
The only other question I have is the bottom of page 1, Raitha, says a copy of the calculation formula is attached, but I don't see it. But I might be missing it. So
Okay.
can you tell me where the calculation
I
formula
don't have the
is?
whole, I don't have the whole package, but it's $35 base per town, and then the rest of that is, the rest of it is based on the number of services, and I don't know, I
Oh,
think that's
okay.
a federal number, that for each service, or, for an average of services.
If you can just shoot that over to Emily,
I will, I'll ask.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else for Rita? Thank you very much.
Thank you all for coming in and answering all the questions.
Great group of people.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, we appreciate it.
Good work.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome to stay.
It'll be boring. Should say that.
This is kind of business. Okay. We're gonna move on to new business and with the Energy Committee update with Gabrielle was.
All right, thanks for making time. I'm here with Ted Morgan, who's the vice chair of our committee. We also have 4 other members, one of them an alternate. I don't think I see any of them dialing in, but just wanted you to be aware of the other people on the committee, David Kuhnhart, John Coombe, Peg Lofgren, and TJ McAndrew. So we've grown slightly in the last year, which is kind of exciting. And again, our mandate is to help the town and residents and businesses reduce pollution and save money at the same time. We're always looking for sort of win-win opportunities wherever we can get them. So I'm going to update a little bit on the work around EV charging stations in the town office parking lot, activities that we've been involved with as a committee, and an update on community power. So with respect to the EV charging stations, we submitted a grant to the T-Mobile Hometown Grant Program. It's a nationwide competitive grant program. We think the EV chargers fit well within it, but it is competitive, so remains to be seen. We'll be finding out in February. We're asking them for the full cost of the grant because their grants tend to be around double what we're asking them, so we think it's a reasonable ask. We're also going to be, with Emily's help, exploring the possibility of a grant with the Northern Borders Regional Commission. That's going to be a broader grant around mobility and recreation in Tamworth and sort of increasing the appeal of Tamworth and accessibility of recreational facilities, within which the EV chargers might feature as a small portion of that. We've been talking with Emily about bringing, I think it's 2 warrant articles. One is to establish an expendable trust fund for the purposes of energy improvements to Tamworth buildings and infrastructure in order to be able to accept private donations for the EV chargers. Again, just a reminder, we're committed to not requiring any taxpayer money for the EV chargers, so so this creates a vessel to put the money into, basically. And we also might be looking for private donations in addition to grants, so this would be able to accept those, and the trust fund would set up the select board as the expending agents so that you all could, once we get the money, go ahead and authorize the expenditures without having to have a special town meeting or anything like that.
Gabrielle, can you just,
Yeah.
so you're not asking for a dollar amount from taxes, you're just wanting the trust to be the vehicle that you can put money into from outside sources?
That's exactly right.
Great.
Yep. And the other warrant article, I think we would need the second warrant article, which is just to say, hey, we'd like to build these EV charging stations. We're going to appropriate the money, those funds to be coming from a grant. And if we don't get the grant, it's the warrant article is null and void, which is how we had structured the warrant article last year. So it basically would, if the grant monies come in, it authorizes the select board to go ahead and do that. And my understanding is any project that is over $5,000 and has infrastructure like that's going to last for more than 5 years, you need to go ahead and go to the town meeting for that. Do you want to talk a little bit about the EV Expo plans?
Yeah, not a lot to talk about, but attendance was good this past spring, but we felt there were a lot fewer local folks coming to it. So it seemed a bit like, well, we've kind of taken care of the local population so far with EVs until there's new waves and so on. So we decided to stop doing it this coming year, and we're just going to take a year away from doing it. It took a lot of work to do it, so we just thought it was not really worth it at this point.
Okay.
The Club Motorsports was interested in doing it, so I think they're a little probably disappointed. I don't know if you.
I haven't heard the disappointment yet.
Yeah, that's our guess. Because they reached out to us this year, unlike prior years where we've been reaching out to them.
The neighbors will probably miss it because it's the quietest thing going on at Club Motorsports, right?
Yeah. And it was just a lot of fun, and they really supported us tremendously the last 2 years that we did host it with them. And then the last thing is just to let you all know that there are new rates coming out for Community Power of Tamworth. They're going up slightly from about 13 cents to about 14.6 cents. And we're, still seeing a lot of benefit in terms of consumer choice with Community Power. The individuals are able to opt up to higher amounts of renewable energy. I just recently joined the committee that works with policy and regulatory with the legislature and with the Public Utilities Commission in order to protect consumer interests with those bodies. There's been repeated efforts by the utilities to try and pass expenses that aren't rightly passed on to consumers, so it's been an ongoing challenge to do that. So it felt like an important part of our membership with Community Power that I take advantage of joining that committee. So I've been going down to Concord one day a month to be a part of that. I think the only other things that I have to say about that is, we saved an awful lot of money with our municipal meters over the last year because we had a special annual rate with the Community Power Coalition. This coming 6-month period, we're not going to be saving we're not going to be getting those same kind of savings, but we think it's still worth it to stay with Community Power because of all the benefits that we do get. And then Community Power is going to come through and do what they call a customer refresh. So any business or resident that has moved to town since the last time they did that, they automatically get enrolled with Eversource. So this would be those individuals, residences, or businesses that are new to town would get a letter from Community Power saying, hey, welcome to Tamworth, you are a Community Power community, we're going to enroll you into Community Power like everybody else. If you want to opt out, here's how to do that. Or if you would like to opt out to a higher amount of renewables, here's how you do that. So it gives people a month to make those choices, and then they would get enrolled. And there's a couple hundred households that'll be included in that refresh. Probably that will happen in March. I think that's it. Was there anything else?
I was just going to say that electric rates are going up everywhere, and so that's kind of what we're getting hit by. And I think there's a lot of benefit to the town staying engaged over time, because the Community Power should be reducing their rates at some point in the future as they collect more of their, what's it called, their reserves.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for the update.
But I know we're talking about the warrant a little later on in the agenda, but I think for the Energy Committee to know is, so setting up an expendable trust fund for, I think it'll be something general like energy improvements on town buildings and infrastructure. Is that something the select board is supportive? Because if so, I'll have the language put together for that for next meeting. Because we're down to one more meeting before
Yeah.
the
Right.
budget hearing.
And it's a vessel for accepting funds that come from
Accepting, yeah, you
non-tax
can't,
revenue.
you can't mix donated or gift monies with tax
Yep.
money, so it would be, yeah, for unrestricted donations, and then could be used at any point by the select board for, as agencies.
I support that.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so I'll put that together. And then the other warrant would be authorizing the installation of EV chargers. I know last year we got into 2 versus 4. Would this warrant outline exactly the number?
Yeah, I mean, I just looked at the warrant from last year, and just, you know, I can send you just a little update. So it goes from, it was like $78,000, now it's $26,440. Installation of 2 vehicle chargers, not the 4, with the full amount coming from grant funds that are pending. And then there's a, you know, language that says if grant funding is not received, the warrant article is null and void.
So would that be a select board recommended warrant article?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, we have to vote on it.
Right, so I would need you folks to, so I think that they can be prepared. Can we make a motion on that tonight so that we can know?
Make a motion to approve both warrant articles as described.
But
To approve the writing of them or the?
what you, I don't know
So
what you're asking us.
this-
We can't like do a spot check.
The only way an article can get on the warrant is if it's by the select board or by petition. So if this isn't an
Oh, you're asking
article-
us to put it on, not have them
Right,
get petitions? Oh, that wasn't clear.
So if you're not going to do it, I'm sure the committee might seek petitions to do that, like they said before. So,
Well, I mean, I think we've been talking about it long enough. I don't see why we can't put it on. It's nothing new.
Nothing raised
I
in
mean, except the
taxation.
expendable trust, but we've been talking about grant funding. You guys have been seeking funding, so providing a vessel for that funding doesn't seem out of line with any of the conversations we've had.
Right,
so
for the
far.
trust, but you're talking about also putting the warrant article for the EV chargers
Yeah.
on. the
Yeah.
Two
warrant.
separate.
two
Two
separate
separate
ones.
warrants.
Right, but the
Yeah.
motion was for both.
Motion
Yep.
with both, and they're not,
But
I can,
not mutually.
I feel like
Understood.
I feel like we've already expressed support. We already took a vote about support, and I can't remember what the vote was. I don't know if it was unanimous or 3-2. I don't know what it was, but it passed that we supported.
You approved them to seek grant opportunities for an EV charger, which is what they did. They're
Right.
still seeking grant opportunities, but now to actually move forward with the
Yep.
installation of it, we would need it.
I'll separate my motions.
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve a warrant article to establish an expendable trust fund for energy improvements to town buildings.
Second.
And infrastructure.
Yep.
Roll call vote.
Do you say yes?
Bear, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Robert, yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the warrant article for construction of 2 EV chargers behind this building to be funded by non-tax dollars.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Did you say yes?
Bear, yes.
Schaefer, no.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, no.
Okay, thank you.
We have a question from Ed Connell.
About the ETF, I think you wanted to add to the motion about agents to expend.
Yeah, well, we'll have the actual language written for the budget hearing, which is when the board will,
And that'll be in there.
yeah, so that'll be posted well in advance, because I'll have the attorney check out the language. And Becky also asks, will the expendable trust be null and void if the charger article fails on if funding is not obtained? My recommendation on that is no, because
Separate.
this is separate. This could be anything. It could be for,
Solar
insulation,
panels on the rec
solar,
building.
anything. So
Yeah.
just general energy improvements. All clear? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item is land use regulation and code compliance.
Okay, so reminder, this is not anything that we, as a select board, have control over or authority to adjust, because this is by statute brought to the town by the planning board. So the planning board brings land use regulations and ordinances to the town. If they're passed, the select board enforces. So the reminder is that this is the legal way to have the building notification form that we voted on years and years and years ago to have in town, but that was inappropriately adopted. So we've been working with, the planning board has been working with the town attorney to make sure that the Ts are crossed and the Is are dotted, so that the town has a mechanism to do a couple of things. The town has a mechanism to observe and enforce the ordinances and regulations we already have in place. This is adding no new oversight, this is adding no new regulation, this is adding no new zoning. It also gives the town a required mechanism where the building notification form, in an attempt to kind of get around the fact that it was inappropriately adopted, was like, well, it can just be voluntary. And we know that like a huge percentage of people ignored that, including contractors in town. So this is no longer going to be voluntary. It would be a required step for people who are going to do anything that is impacted by existing regulation. So on the 28th of this month, which is Wednesday, at 5 o'clock, we're having a public hearing to review this regulatory compliance ordinance. Once that hearing's over, this will become a warrant article.
Sorry, this Wednesday's your work session.
This Wednesday's work session.
Public hearing is on January 28th.
Yes.
Did you say that?
I said January 28th, which is a Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Not this
gotcha.
Wednesday. It's the last Wednesday of the month. It's at our regular planning board meeting, but the meeting's going to start at 5 o'clock and with a public hearing.
Thank you.
So this will be posted on the website.
Yep, it's posted.
It's posted on the website so people can take a look at it. And so I encourage you to come to the hearing if you've got questions, and just like realize that this adds no new regulation. It only gives us an enforcement mechanism, including an assessing flag for what's already in existence. Right now, we have people in town building all kinds of stuff on their lots, which is their right to do, and none of our regulations really keep you from doing that. But if we don't know your building, then you can't be taxed appropriately. If you choose to just run out the clock until the next assessing cycle, and that puts an unfair tax burden on the rest of us. If you're running a business from what you're being taxed on as undeveloped land, for instance, and that's happening way too often in town. We know how tight some of our neighbors' existence is, and this should help a little bit by making sure that people are taxed appropriately when they should be taxed. So, 28th, 5 o'clock.
Great.
So it's pretty much a building permit.
It-
We're just kind of beating.
It's a building permit only for the things that we have ordinances for. There's no state building code involved in this. There's anything like that.
There's no building inspector.
We haven't adopted state building code, so nobody's going to say, oh, your steps are, your rises are too high.
This is just our way of saying, like, we're implementing a building permit, but we're not gonna call it a building permit.
You could
We're not
I'll call it a building
I think we
permit,
should call it a building permit.
but a building permit, like in legalese, has an implied connection to state building code,
Oh.
which we are not adopting, which we have no intention of. Like that is not on anybody's radar that I know of, and I've had a lot of conversations with people.
It's on my radar.
It's not on my radar. If you read the state building code, oh my God, why would you? So this is only looking at things. Hang on one second, Mark. This is only looking at things that we already have voted on and approved as a town. Only that. That's it.
Mark.
Is the legalese gonna be associated with any kind of title that you give it? Like, what about a construction permit?
It's called a regulatory compliance ordinance, and you'll have to have a regulatory compliance permit. I think it says permit on it.
I think we should pay attention with the in Massachusetts and have zoning officers and building code enforcement officers. I'm just saying that because he gave me crap.
Yeah. So this would have, but this would have, like we already have in the budget, and we have for several years now, a compliance officer position. And we've had it, we've paid somebody to try to work with people with junkyards who are not junkyards, and we've paid somebody to educate people around the groundwater protection ordinance.
Yes.
And so that position would also include looking at this stuff.
Is there still somebody doing the property? That, because I remember that happened.
Yeah, he resigned, yeah. And we talked about when Ed resigned, because I knew that this was in the works with the planning board, I recommended we not hire somebody just for groundwater protection when there's a chance that this would expand the role.
Did he resign because he didn't have very good relationships
No,
with people?
he had some
No
personal
idea.
things going on and
Oh, okay,
didn't have the time.
I didn't know if he was,
No,
knocking up
I
trees that.
I think he was okay. Keeping it all right.
So the
Did
big-
you have something, Bruno?
Yeah. So the bottom line is, I've got a piece of property and I make some improvements on it, and I'm gonna tell you what I just did, and my taxes are gonna go up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And wouldn't your taxes go up when we found out anyway at the next assessment?
No. I'll take the shot.
Okay.
So,
But you want taxes to be fair, Bruno, that's what you say to us every single meeting you come to.
Yeah.
You want it to be fair, you complain about people struggling, which is a valid complaint.
You bet your life it is.
Yeah, and so if people don't pay their fair taxes, and we've got people running businesses with huge expansions to their property, and they're not paying on those expansions. So believe me, I don't want to pay more taxes either, but I also don't think it's fair that people lose their homes because we've got people who are not stepping up to the plate. We have regulations the town has already voted in place that we're not enforcing.
But it's not my part to do that, to raise everybody's taxes.
no, but it is the
It's your part to pay your
select
taxes.
board's job to fairly assess the town. That's actually their duty, that's what they're elected to do, is fairly assess.
Yeah.
Not happy with it.
So Becky does have a question. How will anyone new to the town know this requirement exists, as that was the issue with the building notification form that was approved when Tamworth had zoning? I will say from working in the town office, it's mostly new people that come to town that call us or come visit us and ask what we have as far as building permits.
They're looking for the application for the building
They
permit,
assume
which
we
don't
have a building permit. I actually think that the harder part is gonna be getting it out to the public that
But that-
lived here for generations.
And Becky, that's part of, so to put the timeline puts the cart before the horse. So we have to do the legwork to get the ordinance on the warrant. And then the planning board is going to, just like we did with the groundwater protection ordinance, then the planning board goes back to work sessions to figure out what the education steps are that need to be put into place. And so for instance, as with the building notification form, you can charge a fee, legally this time. You can charge a fee for the application process, and we haven't set the fees yet, but we don't have to put the ordinance on the warrant because the statute provides for the select board to set fees. So all that, you've got a great point. How are we going to educate people? That's the next step after we have the hearing for the ordinance.
Ed, I went to the restroom at the wrong time. What regulation are you going to be enforcing? You said regulations that you've already voted on. I didn't hear, what were you?
Yeah, you have to look at it, so it's groundwater protection, it's subdivision, it's floodplain,
I think
there's a
those are the
list.
three.
Yeah, so it's not if somebody builds onto their house.
So-
That would be a building permit, which I mean.
So the other trigger that we're allowed to include, which was on the original building notification form, is the trigger to let the assessor know that you're constructing something. And all it says is, if you're doing any improvements to your property, or any changes to the property, because if you demolish something, which would ultimately reduce your value, you still notify if it's $5,000 or more change to your property value.
But under that case, what are you enforcing? If there's no,
So this form is a catch-all for, are you building anything over $5,000?
but you can't charge a fee for that.
No, but we can charge a fee for the other parts of it.
When you have, and on that check bar, it's gonna say, it's gonna go through if it's gonna be a subdivision, on the aquifers or the groundwater protection ordinance floodplain. But within that, this is kind of a one-size-fits-all form. So, and yes, we will have a compliance officer that follows up. Oh, okay, you are building 2 or more of something on one lot, then this needs follow-up, because that's a potential subdivision.
I understand the part of the ordinances that, and the regulations you already have set in place. But the ones that you don't have set in place, I'm trying to figure out, you're not gonna charge people for regulations that you're not enforcing.
That we're not enforcing.
No, but so we haven't worked this part out yet, because we don't have to work it out yet. But what's gonna be attached to this is a schedule of fees. And the best example I can give you is to look at Sandwich, who also has not adopted the state building code, and they don't inspect for building code. So they would say, if you need this level of inspection, it's this cost, blah, blah, blah. This thing, no cost. So our fee schedule, if you're just telling us that you're making a $5,000 shift, maybe there's no fee cost to that.
Oh, so that's voluntary.
No.
You still need to tell us that we're saying, the attorneys have given us the statute, and you can read through
Okay.
it and then come back next week and ask me the same question.
At the public hearing.
At the public hearing, yeah.
Okay, we'll all be there on January 28th.
That would be great.
Now draft budgets and warrant article review with Emily.
So, other than the code compliance budget, which, it's a little bit hard to know without knowing if this ordinance is going to pass or not, if we have an officer actually in this position. The budget is pretty much, close to being done. Always last minute changes, I'm sure. So, at this moment in time, it looks like we're at about a 10% budget cut from last year, which I think is good considering we're not looking to use any unassigned fund balance money to offset the budget. So unless you have any last minute wild things to throw at me, this is the budget we're going to be reviewing in a couple weeks at the budget hearing, or a few weeks.
What day is that exactly?
That's my next thing to ask you. So we have done it the last few years at the library in the basement.
Yeah.
Tuesday, February 10th was the date that we were going to do it, but they said
have something going.
Yeah, who else is more important than us?
I don't know. We're getting kicked out of the library.
Yeah, so we can either keep it that day and move venues. I know we've done it at the townhouse before.
Townhouse is terrible
I
for
know.
this though, with the posts and the acoustics.
Right.
Maybe we'll have a nice day in February evening, we could do it
Do it
outside.
outside.
There we go.
Parking lot.
It'll move real fast.
Or we could, do it that Monday night.
Is there so there's no statutory thing that says it has to be the second Tuesday of February or something?
I think it has to be before the 11th. I can double check that, but I can't push it out much farther.
I can't
because-
do it the 9th,
No.
That's Monday.
like not at all. Can we do it the week before?
Yep.
I mean, we're not hashing through stuff the way we were at this time last year.
I just need to notice it in time, so that's why tonight we need to pretty much decide.
Do we know what the library's calendar looks like for the week before?
No. I just know that we talked about it last night, and they said the 10th it was going to be,
Some other,
somebody else was already in there.
yeah.
I am away the first half of February. You can have it any time you want.
Okay.
Okay.
So do you wanna say?
Highly unlikely.
I can do
will
anything the first week.
How about the rest of the other
Are you
three
gone the
of you?
first week?
I'm trying to figure, I'm going on a long weekend, but it's like from a Thursday to a Tuesday.
We were on a little island about
I have a
hookups.
possible trip mid-February.
But if we're talking the first week in February, because it has to be done before the
Yeah,
11th.
first week in February,
It's either the 6th or
I am away. I should be back the week of the 8th. And then I might be gone the week of the 15th, but that's too late.
I'm gone 11th to 16th.
Oh my
I got
gosh.
you.
I think you need another location.
Let's just skip it.
Yeah.
If I can,
Uh,
give me a good reason not to go.
So the 10th is our only real option, just
Maybe
not
we
in the
have-
library?
Maybe we have to have it
I'll
at the townhouse.
I'll have to cancel my other board
Can we just do
meeting
it
on
at the
Monday.
townhouses with that?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, we
it's
can
terrible.
Be there, it's fine.
What about the gym?
What about the
The school
school?
gym?
So, okay, you wanna stick with the 10th and I'll find another venue.
Yeah.
Either the townhouse or I'll ask the school.
I'll
If
double
you
check
try
that
to choose
I'll be
close
here.
enough.
If Monday works
Audio's
for
good
everybody else and
everywhere.
we can do the library on Monday, I'll cancel my
Okay.
other board meeting.
Alright, so TBD, public budget hearing will be.
It's either gonna be the
9th or 10th?
9th or the 10th.
Let us know if it's gonna be, let me know as soon as you can about if it's the 9th.
We could do it the 11th or 12th. That'd be better for me because I won't be here. So.
Okay.
Who's up for re-election this year?
Me.
You
Oh,
are?
just you.
Just you?
me. I'm all by myself.
Okay.
Sing it.
Yep, so
All
would
by myself.
you, the candidate
I wanna
filing
be-
period is January 20th,
Yeah, when do you have to sign it?
21st through the 30th.
Got 1 week.
Yep, so mark your calendars and.
You could run, Mark.
I couldn't I? You know, I'm just so busy right now.
That chair is
No,
more,
really, I am. You guys put a lot of time in.
that chair is more comfortable, Mark.
Oh.
Well, I've been where you guys are, different, and I know it's a freaking pain in the ass.
So you're saying you've learned your lesson?
Sorry,
You know what?
Friday.
Say it that way.
Okay, yeah, Becky just confirmed for me, thank you, Becky.
What is
that
it?
Friday, February 13th is the last day to hold at least one public hearing on the annual budget.
And so we have to leave a gap just in case we have to tweak something, so we can't push it
Yeah,
past.
so we're gonna try like heck to get it done 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Becky.
So as you were, so I was thinking, you know, we could really, I liked how we did it last year. Our last meeting before the budget hearing, we really encouraged the public to come and kind of tear our budget apart so that it made the budget hearing itself very smooth.
Yeah, that was great last
So
year.
that would be our next meeting, which is January 27th. So I'll put a note out with the agenda that we encourage public to attend. And the warrant, which you guys have a draft of,
Yeah.
I have not filled in, because I learned my lesson from last year, that I'm not gonna put in the actual numbers for any of the general government things until, like, I absolutely have to, because when one number changes, everything does.
Yeah.
But this is just the language. It's pretty straight, I'll have all the open positions for Article 1. Kim should be getting that to me by next week. And yeah, candidate filing period is the 21st or the 30th. Article 2 is what Leanne just discussed. It'll be on the ballot for the planning board for the regulatory compliance ordinance. Article 3 is, we reviewed this before, but it's just an updated language on the veterans tax credit. It's no tax impact, it's just rewriting the language. And then after that, I went right into our capital reserve fund contributions. One is for the fire truck for our normal amount, $157,000. On page 2, you'll see the bridge capital reserve fund, $150,000. Article 6 is the police officer salary line. That's for half of another year's salary. Instead of putting it in the operating budget, we're just going to contribute it to the capital reserve fund so that we have a full year sitting there. Article 7 threw me off a little bit. I just got this language from Mary for the library. They want to raise and appropriate $6,000 to replace a furnace at the Cook Memorial Library. I would rather treat that kind of like what we do with Rick's budget, which is spend it, and if we're overspent at the end of the year, let's pull from the expendable trust
Yeah.
fund.
Yes.
But like, I'd hate to raise taxation,
Yeah.
it seems silly.
Yeah.
I think that was on the CIP.
It was, but,
For
you
this
know,
year, but
Yeah,
lots of our CIP items are in our operating budget.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can still do it, it just doesn't need to be.
okay, yeah.
So,
That's what we've done, we did it with the fire department
Right.
and Rick, and
Yeah,
and
okay,
it turned out okay.
good idea. So, Article 7.
Yeah. And then Article 8, I'm still waiting to hear back from the attorney looks at all of our warrant article language, but I specifically called out this one. This is the remainder of the USDA grant that we already have committed, that we'd like to continue to spend on transfer station improvements, including but not limited to paving, purchase and installation of a truck scale, and new equipment purchases. Said funds to come from the USDA grant previously established or approved. If the USDA grant funds do not support said improvements, this article is null and void. So I'm thinking that language is okay, but we'll see.
Yep.
And then we go into all of our just general government budget, you know,
Yeah.
public safety, public works, health and welfare, parks and rec. I'll have the contingency fund number closer to when we have the budget finalized. And then all of our petition warrant articles. I suspect a petition warrant article is coming through from the Shakora Village Association about installation of crosswalk and the rapid flashing beacons. So it's not in yet, but residents have until February 3rd to get me their warrant articles, language and signatures. So there's still time for that to come in. Our 2025 budget, just looking at where everything landed, it looks like we'll have about 270,000 roll over into the unassigned fund balance, mostly from a combination of police, fire, highway. Those are all always a little
It's like
padded.
half of what you did last year, isn't it?
I
We're
know.
getting so good at this.
We're getting better at trimming the fat.
Yeah.
That paired with the 130,000 that we did not end up spending on transfer station improvements that will lapse, we'll have about 400,000, which is good. That's what we kind of expected when we were setting the tax rate to roll over.
Good.
Okay.
I know I missed a meeting. Can you tell me who has already come in for the petition warrant articles? Did I miss any other than today?
Last meeting we had
Just a couple.
Meals on Wheels
Yeah.
Okay.
and Tamworth Preschool,
Yep.
and that was it. And then next meeting I have 3 more.
3 more?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mark has a question.
Oh, yes, Mark.
Just because this popped out at me, and then another quick thing. Article 15. What did I miss? Why is the Cook Memorial Library needing $250,000 from the town?
That's their annual budget.
That's an annual budget?
Yeah. It was, I think it was more like 230 last year.
Yeah, it's gone up.
Somewhere around 230.
Do you guys get a breakdown of that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That will be,
they give us they write a separate budget where is that?
I mean, I can give it to you if you want again, but they came in December and we reviewed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good, for next week, it'd be good to have everything
Yes, next
in
week
that,
we'll have
in our little
like
notebooks.
budget hearing prep.
Okay, good. Yeah.
yeah. And that has come up before, so maybe we should have a handout for some copies of the library budget.
It's, the number just kind of like,
Yeah.
have anybody here up on what's going on with the teachers union and the school board? Last meeting I was at, they're at an impasse right now. So hold on to your suspenders.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, never mind. I won't say what I think, but
I know.
if something's gonna break the town, it's gonna be that.
Just to let you know, 2025 Cook Memorial Library asked for $312,943. This year they're asking for $315,553, so not a huge increase in their overall budget. I'll have to look at what they're actually
Yeah, I'd just like to
asking.
see the breakdown, because
Yeah.
is it like 3 or 4 people that are employed over there? Is that what it is?
I'm not sure, they have more than that, but I'm not sure how many.
You know, heating and, you know, that kind of thing I understand, and they
Yeah.
put a new solar array
Yeah.
on there and hoping, but just.
Oh, while we're on budget stuff too, now that we actually have the final numbers, I've got everybody enrolled on our new health insurance plan. So far, so good. But the overall numbers, even with our new hire, our full-time hire, which is our police officer, Katie, over at the police department, and with considering the new transfer station supervisor, I just budgeted for a family plan in case that's what we end up hiring. But even with all that, our savings was $73,000 compared to how we stayed with the same employees at the health trust. So.
Nice job, Emma. Good job.
Yeah, so this was a good.
Can I ask a question to that?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to ask a question for any reason except I want to see how it balances with. What is the percentage, or is there a percentage that town employees pay for their health insurance?
10%.
Okay. I think the school employees is like 11%.
Oh.
I was just wondering, that's all. I was hoping you were paying 50, and then I'm gonna say, hey, you guys got a cough.
I pay
90-10 is a
100%
good deal for the employee.
Huh?
90-10 is a heck of a deal.
Oh, a heck of an employee, a heck of a deal. Oh, 100%, 100%.
Thank God I'm healthier than
But like in private business, it's not that anymore.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
That's it.
Okay, investment policy updates.
Oh, this is just a minor amendment to our current investment policy. We discussed it before, our treasurer, instead of driving to Meredith Village Savings Bank every day, it's free to get an electronic deposit machine in our office, but the minimum deposit is like $5,000, whereas our investment policy said anything over $1,500, she'd have to go to the bank. We just updated it to $5,000. So if you don't mind accepting that, we can approve.
I make a motion to approve the investment policy as amended on January 13th, 2026.
Second.
And this is gonna save trips to the bank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cool.
we won't have to pay mileage anymore.
Does that, I think we went over this before, it's pretty quick to get to the $5,000 too. It's not like
Yes.
it
Right.
takes that long.
No.
Roll call vote.
You say yes?
There, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Dennis, yes.
Roberts, yes.
Okay. And administrative report, sounds like you already given it, but.
Oh, I wish, but I've got lots to talk to you guys about. Okay, so the account balance is $5,798,102. I just want to announce publicly because our last meeting, which was really, it was a really short one, it was just for some interviews, but when we came out of non-public, we talked briefly about transfer station, and Richard made a motion to stop accepting brush at the transfer station as of April 1st. So I just want you guys to know that. I'll be noticing that as we get a little closer to, I don't know, I should start noticing it now probably, because spring feels like it's here. Town meeting and election schedule, we just talked about the budget hearing, I will figure that out. Town election is Tuesday, March 10th. And that's set in stone. Town meeting, we typically hold on Wednesday.
The next day.
The next day. You guys good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll start noticing.
But it's 6.
What?
Let's start at 6.
7, I think.
7.
in the
7?
past.
Actually, let's figure that out now. So budget hearing, what time do you want that? Remember last year we did it at 5 and then Steve didn't know and he came later. So, do you want to make it 6 o'clock budget hearing or?
Well, our schedule's been 5.
And we still had it, I mean, we had a good turnout, it didn't seem like it dampened
Steve, it's 5
participation.
this year.
Yeah.
5 o'clock?
I remember trying to text you from the cellar of the library and nothing was going through.
Yep.
Okay.
sense.
And then town meeting, just look at what we did last year, I think we did.
Yeah, that's
I
Seven.
think we did 7.
It's been 7 for,
So,
yeah, let's not change tradition here, alright?
No, we're not, can't change that.
well, the good thing is, there's only one person out for election, from election day
That's
this year,
true.
not 2, so
Yeah.
makes the schedule.
I'll be gone then too.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing
Again.
about being on this board, is doing election day.
So a typical kind of last minute, but I did just get updated prices from Fidium. Right now, we have, the whole town is kind of on different things, some consolidated, some Verizon. And Fidium just gave us a quote to bundle the whole town. I know nothing about this stuff, but fiber is better.
Well, it's faster.
It's faster, especially at the transfer station, it would be a big improvement. And it's minimal, but it saves us like $20 a month.
We say the whole time, you mean town buildings.
Yep, town buildings, police, fire, all the town buildings.
Is that a first year's cheaper, and then what's the arc for increasing prices after that? I mean, I know Fidium for residential installs was giving you like a first year pricing, and then the rest of it was to be determined.
I can get them to confirm, but they didn't say anything about, a projected increase after first year. The only thing was there's a promotional price where they give us the first 3 months for free. So that's not bad. They did say it would take about 40 days to install and roll out.
Is there, we don't pay any install cost?
No, that's all.
And that'll be up at the transfer station as well?
Yeah,
Can we, if they increase dramatically after a year, can we switch back?
I don't think, I can check. I don't
Well,
think
that's
you're
going on all the way
locked
to the
into a
station.
contract, but I don't know.
Just like to,
It's good to know.
options.
Okay. And then last but not least, June Aprilli moved out of town, so has to step down as a trustee of the trust fund. Which means, and I don't have anybody jumping at the opportunity, so we should be appointing someone. So you don't have to, figure this out tonight, but think about it and do some recruiting.
But will somebody be on the ballot in the spring?
So her term wouldn't be up for another year. So
Oh, okay.
we would need to appoint someone as a 1-year interim and then be on the ballot in 27.
Is there any reason we couldn't do somebody short-term potentially and then put it on the ballot this year?
For this year?
Does it screw up the staggering?
Try for a 1-year term.
Oh, I'll actually look into that.
That's
So we did it
that's
before.
just
one
done with
person.
select board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we're a
Right.
little off.
Yeah, I would
Right.
think we could do that.
Right.
Well, I think we ended up, now we're kind of evened back out because there's
Fine.
2 years
Because I think
and
my-
one the third year.
I was appointed till the next election, not
Yes.
to the end of Aaron's term.
Yeah.
Right.
But the state law could be different for others.
Okay, I'll find out, but keep your,
How many?
start recruiting.
There's 3 on them.
Yeah, so right now it's Bob Seston and David Little.
There's 3 new messages.
And could you get from them a job description or whatever we would,
Sure.
explanation of duties? Can't recruit people if you don't know exactly how to describe it.
So Becky asked, so is Fidium doing phones as well? Yes. Maybe post it as an opening. I will, and they would serve until the next election. That's what I thought. Yeah.
That's what we have to find out. Is it till the next election or to the end of the term?
To the end of a term,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so I'll find that out. That's all I got.
Because the term's 3 years,
Yes.
so you could appoint somebody short-term, and then if her term is another year, you could do a 1 year.
Yeah.
I think that's how we did it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And it's easier to get somebody to jump in the pool for only 1 year.
1 year, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Select board update.
The first grant funds from the USDA have arrived. We've been reimbursed for the cost of installing the ground level compactor, which was installed in May, June or something of this year, $34,000. A couple days ago, the funds arrived for the snow blower and the mini loader, just over $60,000. So now I really believe the grant funds are coming since some of the checks have arrived. And the rest of the items will come as they get delivered, etc. The one question I think we should think about is, the biggest item in the group is a new backhoe, so we will at some point have an old backhoe that is surplus. I think we should consider selling it or trading it in. So we should think about what's other places that we can trade them into.
I know a lot of towns do like sealed bid auctions on old equipment. The fire department's done that in the past. I think the highway department may have done that with stuff in the past. But I know a lot of other towns do it that way.
Okay.
So, and it usually works out. We did it with the old police cruiser actually.
And you can set a minimum, right?
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
you can, yeah.
And I have no sense of what a minimum would be.
For something like that, it'd probably be fairly low. I would think, because I don't think there's a ton of,
About $100.
I don't think there's a ton of value left there.
Yeah.
Scrap, maybe ask Rickers what scrap value would be.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
The other thing we'll have too many of is containers, since we're ordering 4 new ones. So I reached out to New Hampshire Recycles, and they said, well, you can post those on their website for sale and see what kind of prices you get. And if they're in any kind of decent shape, somebody will buy them. And if they're totally rusted out, then you could sell them for scrap. So at some point, we need to go there and figure out which containers are surplus. And I would propose then moving them, like the day before the new ones show up, to the lower area maybe, and then take some nice pictures and put it on the website and see who wants to buy it. But it's going to be tricky to figure out, okay, how many extras do we keep? You know? I think it's easy to decide which ones are good and which ones aren't, but we need to, I don't want too many extras because there's too many containers there right now for my liking. At least one of them is a piece of crap, is what I'm told.
Cardboard one this weekend was horrible.
Was it?
Oh yeah, so I was gonna suggest, because we have some that are out, so if we just pick a day, we won't be able to see all our containers. Waste Management will have several of them. We might wanna start numbering, serializing, and inspecting, having this team inspect what numbers are good and bad. Because we pick all the good ones to get rid of, all the bad ones.
And we do want at least, I think, one total extra that we don't have to do with just in case. And I think we want one that has a strong enough floor for storing baled aluminum cans. You don't have to put it indoors, but it's probably a little better if you put it indoors. But it needs to have a strong enough floor that you can drive into and not something that's all rusted out. So that's all I have.
I guess all I have is, I went to the library trustees meeting last night, and they approved the budget they're gonna present to the town. So that is available. I don't have a copy with me. But the other thing they have been working on is their strategic plan for the next several years. And so they're gonna be sending out a survey to as much of the town as they can get it to, and to see what priorities people have for the library, how they can be as useful as possible. And so that's about it for me.
Okay. Transfer station, things are going well. Talking with the crew, they're still running on a 2-person team right now. We're working on getting some more per diems up there so we can get 3 people, especially on the weekends, and have a good lead on some possibilities there. Public shout out, thanks to Alan Libby for his assistance and willingness to help out with that. And the only other thing is to let the public know that the last budget review for the school board, or the school budget, is on the 15th at 5:30, and then February 7th, or February 4th, sorry, at 7 o'clock is the actual budget hearing. So just encourage everyone to attend that can.
And Mark, I did start posting those on our town
I
calendar.
saw that. Excellent, thank you.
Yeah.
Great upgrade to that site.
The budget hearing is the 4th, yep. The last budget review is the 15th. So Thursday
You say 5:30.
at 5:30, yeah.
You all done?
Yep.
So Lakes Region Planning is on hiatus for the winter, so there's no update there. Planning Board has a work session tomorrow night, and we're gonna go over a couple of things. We're gonna look at kind of reorganizing how officers work, because the workload is super heavy on the chair of the planning board, and it's making it hard to find somebody who's got the time and the ability to do all of that prep. And with the planning board, because those hearings and the decisions are all legally binding, like, you've got to make sure people are on their toes, and so that's been a challenge. We're also going to talk about the prep for the hearing on the 28th that we already discussed, and some discussion about conditional approvals. So that's coming up tomorrow, work session. The other thing is that you'll remember months ago now, the select board sent out some letters based on some complaints about potential subdivision violations, and the letters asked those property owners to be in touch with the planning board so that they could discuss their situation and, if necessary, what a retroactive subdivision application would look like. We did hear back. Emily heard back from one of the property owners explaining the situation, clarifying that it wasn't a violation, and that was great. One of the recipients of the letter is on the schedule for this month's planning board meeting, and I think that 2 have not been heard from yet. So, it's the select board's responsibility to enforce regulations, and if there appear to be violations and people don't interact with our request to try to either explain their situation or remedy the situation, like, we can get into, as you'll remember, charging a fine until they come to the table.
So the first letter certified or first class?
Certified.
And it was how long ago?
November 27th, and then we did follow up with a phone call, which was great, but then still nothing. So I sent out second notices by certified mail last week.
Okay.
Yeah. Requesting, giving the deadlines kind of to be on the February planning board meetings.
Yeah. So the planning board, also at the work session, is going to talk about, like, well, what does it look like to retroactively give subdivision approval, because it's new. It's new for Tamworth to be enforcing its regulations. So, so that'll be an interesting conversation too, because obviously, if you've already built a development, you can't retroactively require somebody to have frontage that they don't have. But you can require them to have the basic safety things like a state-approved septic for the development that's been put in place. So it's just meant to be a check-in. Keep you posted.
Nothing from me.
Okay. Is there any public input before we do the signature file?
Becky asks, will the phones, I think we're talking about Fidium here, will the phones work for fire alarms with fiber? They always said they needed a landline.
Google says yes.
They definitely should.
Yeah, it should be okay. I'm working with their municipal rep, so I think they're well versed with commercial stuff.
I think it was more our fire alarm company than the fire alarm company that we had that oversees it.
Oh, okay.
I do have a couple questions though.
Okay.
One is the new person that we hired for the police department, there's no contact information of hours of service or anything like that. It was asked on the police webpage and still, the police Facebook page, and still nothing other than just call the police department. So if something could be put out about what hours of availability, how to contact them, what kinds of things you can contact them for.
Yeah, so Becky, the protocol right now is that you contact the police department and it gets routed through. If you think that the community liaison needs to be connected with somebody, you route that through the chief, and then the chief gives the assignment. But
everybody reads the Facebook page, so if something could be put up on the police department page or something on the web page or something put out there.
Okay. They're also, as we discussed in past meetings, this position is kind of creating itself as we go. So the intent has been and is still that the first couple of months of Katie's work are designed to give her time, as you heard tonight from a couple of the people who are presenting from agencies. She is reaching out to agencies who deal with folks in Tamworth to find out what they need. She's working with the chief to design protocols. She's been working with a group that is people who are community liaisons or social workers in other police departments in the state to figure out what their protocols are. So she's not yet working with clients yet. Because
well, no problem. It's just that I saw it on the Facebook page, but there's nothing out there, and it happened to actually be Ann. Well, it used to be Ann McGarity. It's Ann Borges now. Was asking how you contact and stuff. So
okay, I'll have her post that. I'll have them post that on Facebook. Yep.
Did you have something else, Becky?
I just can't back up Steve enough, and I don't care if the teachers are in non-negotiations, whatever, they're bulking, whatever. The school budget is so out of control that people have got to get there, because it's going to put a lot of people out of their houses, out of everything. I don't know how you're going to curtail it. Tuition went up $500,000 this year for our students. Transportation's going up. It's just out of control, as Jim knows. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, thank you.
I did have a school board member pop into my office today, just kind of curious what $1 million increase on their budget looks like as far as our tax rate goes. And the answer is it's $1.39 of our tax rate, which is a lot. You know, it takes us hundreds of thousands of dollars of unassigned fund balance money to get our dollar to keep it level, to not increase it $1. And so just an FYI.
All right.
Oh, do we want to ask David Little about the trustee of the trust?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm gonna get home.
All right, we'll move into the signature file. Make a motion to approve the select board public and non-public meeting minutes dated December 22nd, 2025.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Doucette, yes?
Bear, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes.
Make a motion to approve the select board public and non-public meeting minutes dated December 30th, 2025.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Doucette, yes?
Bear, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes.
Make a motion to approve an intent to cut for map 412, lot 13, access road, Pease Hill Road.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Doucette, yes?
Bear, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes.
Make a motion to approve the report of cut for map 413, lots 2 and 4, map 420, lot 41, for $5,556.48.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Doucette, yes?
Bear, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes.
I make a motion to approve an application for raffle for the Chicago Lake Conservancy on February 7th, 2026.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Doucette, yes?
Bear, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes.
I make a motion to approve the accounts payable in the amount of $436,630.10. Roll call vote.
Doucette, yes?
Bear, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes.
And there's 2 additions there, Carl, sorry.
I have a couple of additions here. What's M&L?
Map and lot.
Okay.
Sorry, that's my quick writing.
I make a motion to approve an abatement application for map 408, lot 64, in the amount of $2,451, and for map 206, lot 90, in the amount of $529.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Doucette, yes?
Bear, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes.
Make a motion to go into non-public session under RSA 91A32C.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Doucette, yes?
Bear, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes.
We're now in
That's continuing.
This is a continuance.
Sorry, that is
Yeah.
session 3. And then,
Oh.
Three, and then
and
We
Oh,
need to continue B.
and a continuation of session B.
RSA 91A32B.
Second it again.
Roll call vote.
You said yes.
There it is.
Schaefer, yes.
Travis, yes.
Roberts, yes.
Now we're non-public at 6:58 PM.
Thanks for your input. Good night.
Thanks, everybody.
I make a motion to adjourn at 7:30 PM.
Thanks for coming.
I just want to let you guys know that I know I've been sticking my nose in your business, but like Emery, I have places to go and things to do and people to see. And when it comes to the town meeting, I'm not gonna be there.
Oh, you're killing me.
So I'm gonna be standing out on a corner somewhere
Guys,
saying,
David and Carl want to scoot away with this other.
I'm not gonna be here, so 10 of you better be.
Yeah.
Not you, but other people.
Yeah.
But no, really, thank you for everything.
Well, I want to say that I appreciate you coming to the meetings that you do and like giving input. It's,
Yeah.
this is the input that matters, like all the chatter in the back.